have no freaking plan, honestly, but I feel closer than ever with God. Hey Blossoms, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. I create lifestyle and wellness content for flourishing blossoms just like you. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely stay tuned. So today's video is just pretty much like a testimonial. I feel like a lot of my videos lately are like testimonials, but I'm just trying to create a space where we can all learn and be healed through situations. And so I feel like me sharing this experience with you guys could be helpful. So on August 25th, I quit my job. God is so awesome. You're awesome, God. You're awesome. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Hey, Blossoms. Welcome back to my channel. Girl, I was just crying. I can't even go through the whole intro. I'm quitting my job today. Today's my last day at work. And I feel like I've been coming to y'all crying a lot, but like God has been so good to me. And maybe I should do this when I'm less emotional, but I think that this makes it more real. Like, you never know where God is taking you, placing you, taking you out of. It's been so many times I didn't know what way was being made, what way was gonna be made, and God just showed up and showed out every time. So I'm not nervous to quit my job. No, I don't have any backup plan, and that's okay, because for once I don't have a backup plan, and for once I'm wholeheartedly, fully stepping into faith. So come along as we pack that motherfucking office. In order to tell you how God has played such an imperative role in this story, I wanted to give you guys some background information. So in August of 2021, I moved to Miami. I came down here for school. I'm getting a master's in counseling, and right off the bat, I had no job. I was looking for jobs, but God kept telling me, like, get a job in your field. Like, don't settle for any type of job. I remember I was gonna get a Walgreens. I was really on my way to secure a job at Walgreens, and my car didn't start. And I was like, okay, God, like, you're loud right now, you know? I ended up applying for a bunch of different jobs. I probably applied to like 70 different jobs in the behavioral health type industry, counseling and things like that. And the story that I wanted to tell you guys was I applied for a job at Jackson Memorial Hospital as I think it was a behavioral tech. And I just saw it in my journal, you guys. If you've been watching my channel, my last few videos, I've been really looking into stuff from my old journals. And I saw it in my journal. I was scripting and I wrote, like, I'm so blessed. I feel this feeling, something along the lines of like, I will secure a job at Jackson Memorial Hospital. And I even went, because they were being very unresponsive to me, I went and I took some resumes and I went and tried to give them to someone like in person. And when I was there, I walked throughout the building, I walked outside, I saw the different places for lunch, and I was just manifesting, like, I see myself here working, getting lunch, doing XYZ. This was in like September, end of September of 2021. I ended up having an interview there, actually. It was the worst interview of my life. The ladies were very rude, honestly. The ladies who were interviewing me were like picking up the phone in my interview. They weren't paying attention to me at all. I got the idea that they kind of had already hired someone, but they wanted to just be polite and follow through with my interview. Either way, literally a few days after I wrote that script in my journal, I ended up getting a different job. I loved that job for a long time. I worked as a behavioral health technician. It meant a lot to me because a behavioral tech and inpatient was who really motivated me to get into counseling. And so getting that job was like, wow, I was so happy to have that job. I worked that job for about 8 months, and I just ended up figuring out that I just wasn't getting paid enough. I totaled my car in the beginning of the year, and I started a fast. I really dedicated a lot of the beginning of 2022 to God and to strengthening our relationship. So I'm applying to jobs like for a very long time. I get kind of complacent at one point, and so I don't really pick it up until like maybe March, April. So I applied for a job with the county, and this is the job that I recently quit. So I applied for the job with the county, praying, like I said, fasting, really like being communicative with God, right? So I get this job. I was completely fulfilled with this job. Salary, work from home days, like so freaking happy at this job. Like you have no idea. I get the job, right? And they're like, yeah, just so you know, we have like a partnership with Jackson Behavioral Health Hospital. What? You mean to tell me the same place where I had literally 8 months before walked around, felt myself being there and having lunch and coming on break with my coworkers, the same place that I literally envisioned that, walked around and manifested that, is now a part of my county job after being denied from doing an interview there? Okay? So I'm talking about, at the time, the grant that I worked under had a partnership with Jackson. So we had offices. We were supposed to. If you have ever worked in the county, you know there's a lot of bureaucratic stuff. So I got hired onto my grant in 2022, June, and I didn't quit until August 2023, and they still had not gotten us over to Jackson, but we did tour, we saw our offices. I had to tell the beginning of that story to just show you how much God has already been moving in the background, right? Anyways, come to this year with my job, I started to get very uncomfortable at my job, just as far as like school. Like I'm a full-time student, right? And so it started to get a little bit hard to juggle classes and having to work a full-time job. And my last 2 semesters, I have internship. And so a lot of my peers quit their jobs, but I was like, girl, I'm literally not quitting my job. Like, how are you guys quitting jobs for an unpaid internship? I'm not sure. I didn't understand. Praying on it for a long time. I've been praying on this probably this entire year. And I was just like, you know what, God, I'm willing to follow you, and I just need a sign. I'm asking God for a sign. And to me, the first sign, I'm like, if my work best friend quits or anything like that, I'm gonna quit. Like I could not do my job without him. We were literally partners. We had to go in the field. Like I just was like, okay, if that happens, I'm out. Like obviously that's a sure sign. Something ends up happening with his grant. He ends up having to leave our job, right? But I'm still making excuses. Like I told God specifically the sign to show me if it was time to quit my job. And God specifically showed me, and I was like, so like, no, send another one. Like send another sign. Like that can't possibly be what you're talking about. It was a lot had to do with me relying on finances. I didn't feel like I could be financially stable without having this job. And I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, girl, you can literally just get a different job. Because the issue was, it was hard to have clients at my job. And I had schizophrenic clients, so not to say anything, but that should be saying enough. And then client internship who are also going through their own individual struggles, right? So I was relying on finances and just thinking like, I know God has me, but like he can't make this money for me. What do you mean? Like I just couldn't. I think I had said in one of my previous videos, like, is your safety net really a straitjacket? And that sat with me so much when I saw that post. I can't remember where I saw that, but it was like, dude, that's me. Like I'm living in my safety net. And so I was getting so uncomfortable. Like at that point I started to get very constricted in my job. Moving into like beginning of summer, end of spring, I'm just like, what's going on? My supervisor, the one who hired me, she quit. My work best friend quit. And I'm still like, nah, God. I'm literally praying like, okay, God, I see how that could be my sign, but like, just to be sure, like, because you got me this job. You literally got me this job. I prayed and prayed and prayed for this job. So like, I'm very, very confused. You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on? As I'm ignoring the signs, it gets to the point, we're in summer now, we're well into summer, and it started off with 5 people on my grant, and it's down to 2, right? Me and this other girl. And so she tells me, she texts me one day, she's like, hey, she sent me this interview that she was gonna do. It's like, go girl, you do it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, if she gets this job, I have to quit, because that's literally the last person. Like, I didn't have to quit, but I was just like, God has like, he's wiping people out left and right, left and right. She ends up quitting. This other guy ends up quitting. I'm like, bro, I was just so confused. And I was telling God, like, you got me this job. I'm doing everything in life that you want me to do and that you've put in my head. And he said, are you? And I said, wait. I don't know what type of relationship you guys have with God or how you speak with God. How I know that God is speaking to me is kind of just like random thoughts will happen. It won't necessarily come in prayer, but it will just come like a lot of times in the shower, or like right before bed, or right when I wake up. And I just had this thought, because I remember like feeling like so not proud of myself, but just feeling like I was on the right path. And I had this thought, and it was basically just like, is this God's plan, or is this just the plan that has financially suited you, and so you thought that that's exactly where God wanted you to be? And I was just like, wait a minute. And I started listing off the things. I'm like, well, I got my degree, I moved here, I'm pursuing another degree, I have a job. And the only thought that kept coming up is like, who told you to do that? Like, you have all these dreams and this purpose that God has really placed on you, and the things that you have listed are not listed in that purpose. And I said, ooh. I said, And I really started to have this revelation that I have been truly following my plan, and I haven't surrendered. And I love to sing like, I surrender all. What have you, what truly have you sacrificed? What have you gave up? How have you got uncomfortable? You haven't. You've always chased after a job. You've always made the money, made the ends meet. You've never got uncomfortable for real, like uncomfortable. And now God's making me incredibly uncomfortable. I'm at my job trying to balance the client to have a job and internship, and I'm giving both 50-50, which feels like shit. If you're a mental health provider and you can only give people 50% of you feel terrible. So now I'm incredibly uncomfortable, and God is like telling me like, you have yet to fall to my plan. And that was such a wake-up call for me. And when I think about it, I'm literally getting teary-eyed, because it can seem like you're really surrendering, and it can seem like you're doing everything right. But in that moment, I really saw that I wasn't. And all that God has done for me in so many ways that he showed up for me, it's the least that I can do to get uncomfortable and get on my grind and just make it happen. Because yeah, I love my job, and it was in my field, but it was not what I wanted to do. It was a case management job, and I want to be a therapist. And so they're really two totally different things. And so even though I had convinced myself that like it was completely aligned with my purpose, I still believe that it was. I know that God put that job there for a reason, but it was temporary. And the job did its duty, right? I got involved with all these community mental health centers. I got connections to a lot of different rehabs and clinical directors, and it did what it needed to do. And all that I needed to do was let it go, you know? And that has been crazy. Like, even like the day before my last day, that Thursday, the enemy was working. I was doubting everything. I was like, this is so dumb. Like, how could I quit my job, you know? It's hard for me to count on other people. I have savings, I have whatever I need to do, but no matter what, I have to count on other people, honestly, financially, a little bit even. And that was hard for me. And God is constantly putting me in positions where I just have to realize, like, you are loved. You are taken care of fully. Every single dime that I've spent is coming back around 10 times more. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more. Especially when I'm choosing to fall into the purpose that God has made for me. I'm 2 weeks post my first big girl job, and I feel great. It's not to say that there hasn't been like that weird feeling. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm studying for a big exam that I need to take to graduate in December. I'm working damn near full time at my internship. I'm literally working like 35 hours a week. So it's like, it's not like I'm not doing anything, but it still feels weird. Like there's not that quote unquote stability that I thought was needed, which is crazy because this is probably the most unstable I've ever been as far as like not having a backup plan. I have no freaking plan, honestly, but I feel closer than ever with God. I feel closer than ever with God. And I'm gonna continue to keep this faith. Like I've been praying though, like in my praying bag, like this whole year. I've been listening to the signs though lately and really trusting my intuition. Like I may have quit that job, but I'm keeping this faith. That's probably gonna be the title of this video. I quit that job, but I'm keeping this faith. Yeah, so it'll be an interesting journey. The idea is not to stay without a job forever. I am gonna end up getting like something slight, but not anything with clients, not anything stressful. But I do need to take like at least a month, probably 5-6 weeks. I don't know. I need some time to study for this exam though. And then I'll get back to it. And then I'll get my post-grad job. Okay? Big Low the therapist, baby. You got a problem? Don't call me because I wouldn't be able to be objective because you are a Blossom. But anyways, God is moving, y'all. God is moving. Shifts are happening. I think there's something that God has been telling you, or you're getting that inkling, and maybe you don't call God, whatever name you have for your creator. Surrender, truly. And that's breaking that shield of worldliness and what you think will have you be comfortable. You have to move. Girl, you gotta move. There's something greater out there. Something greater in you, honestly, and you need to tap into it. I think a lot of goal-oriented people forget God's role in getting those goals, because a lot of our goals are from a nature point of like safety, right? You want to feel safe. You want to be able to make money because you need to keep a roof over your head. But I'm at the point where it's literally in God's hands. Like it is literally in God's hands. I'm just here. I'm here. I got sent from the stars and I'm just vibing. Like I'm literally vibing. Anything I can just say is if you're getting uncomfortable to the point of it's stressing you out, or you just feel very spiritually at war, you have to move. You have to move. So that's it for me, baby. I just came here to tell you that you won't break my soul. You won't break my soul. Yeah, y'all. So come along on this journey with me. Maybe I will make some like study content. I don't know. I just want to bring y'all in every aspect of my life. Maybe I should stop doing that. But Blossoms, move when God is moving you. Don't wait till he has to make some catastrophic event just to listen to what he's been trying to tell you for months. Because I was close. I feel like I was like this close. Like God was about to blow my job up. I'm excited for this new journey, and I'm really excited that you guys have made me feel safe enough to share this with you. And I hope that it inspires you to take that leap and to really surrender all and to just operate in your truest form. If God has given you that idea, that purpose, that thing that can't get off your mind, you don't have to waste your time doing literally anything else. The time is now, and you don't have to have money or anything. Like, take a breath, meditate, pray, manifest, and really connect with who you're meant to be. You guys know what I always say. I love you so much. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in my next one. Bye.